Here we are. We have reached episode 7. And the winner chicken dinner guitar today is the famous or infamous Firefly 335 copy, circa 2019. So in order for me to get one of those up here across the border, I had to order it on Amazon.com in the United States, have it shipped to a buddy's house down there, and then when he was visiting up here, he brought it across the border to me. Legal, of course. And if you watch the unboxing video of that guitar and the first bench guitar, where it was like, oh my god, it was scratched and swirled, and I mean the original knobs were bruised, and it was in pretty bad shape aesthetically, but I couldn't send it back without going through that reverse process and all that again. Nah, I just wasn't having it, so I did the best I could by hand with multiple compounds, getting the swirls out, and it turned out pretty good after a while. There were many times that I went and decided a little bit more here, a little bit more there, and that's what I did. And today, as I took it out of the case, now that I have my buffing pads for my drill, I decided to give it a little bit of love, and I went over it again with the compound and the waxing, and ooh, look at that in the light. Is that not absolutely awesome now? Wow. Who would have thought that from what came out of the box would look like this? So back then I put the Wilkinson tuners on it because they were the best I knew about at the time, because that's what I was putting on my Telecasters. The original, oh, I got dust already. The original pickups in here were terribly microphonic, and I found out about pickups that were available here in Canada from a fellow YouTuber called Pipecat, who had bought these pickups from a company here in Ottawa called Tone Emporium. So I went online and I looked them up and bought this set. They cost me $100. So I bought this guitar. It was like $139 American at the time. Conversion rates I don't know, but it was like about 175 bucks Canadian, I guess, overall. And they charged 20 bucks to bring it across the border. I put a roller bridge on here eventually. The switch is the original switch. The electrics were changed. I've got push-pulls on these two pickups now, wired independently. The volumes are independent, yeah. And also I put Fralin resistors on the splits. When I did this, I wasn't as good with the guesstimation about what it would take, but I did do a lot of testing, and these ended up with a resistor between the split center tap and ground of 7.5K on each one. I'm not sure I would do the same today if I was going back in there. I might make this one a little less. But anyway, what they do is they don't let it drop. So you're not going full single coil when you pull this switch. You're only going all single and a portion of the other one, so it doesn't seem to have the bottom drop out of it. Anyway, this is the way it works out. The bridge full is 8.04K. The neck full is 7.3K. And if you split this one, you get 6.62K. If you split that one, you get 6.14. So you see, it didn't go all the way down to half. I'm only letting it go down a certain portion. Now, in the middle, with both of them split full, I get 3.83K between the two in parallel. And if I split the neck alone, I get 3.5K between them. If I split the bridge alone, I get 3.48 between them. Now that's a combination of the resistance. However, the characteristic of the pickup in its position changes the tone. So the 3.2, or so say the 3.5 when this one split, and the 3.48 when that one split, which is almost 3.5, are not exactly the same tonality because of the different positions. And then when both of them are split together and full up, in parallel, they're 3.2K. So there's varying degrees of the values, and they give some unique sounds. So it basically ended up like where I really wanted it to be. And did a lot of work on this guitar, not only from the body perspective, but I mean the frets needed to be done. The bone nut, well, the bone nut, there was a plastic nut that was in there. The original one had the low E string cut too low. And what I did originally, because I had seen somebody do this, I had taken the baking soda and crazy glue, and I filled that in, and then I recut the slot. Since then, though, I've replaced the nut completely, and it's a brand spanking new one, all cut exactly the way I want it, and it's there. I'm very happy with the Tone Emporium pickups in this. They sound really good. You can make them do just about anything you want. The one thing that, you know, I didn't like about this style of guitar is the jack that comes out the front. Let me get you down a little bit. Is the jack that comes out the front. I really like them, you know, prefer it down here. And I thought about doing it a couple of times. And I was thinking, I'm not sure it's really worth the work now to do it. Back then, I mean, there was a long break between 2017 and 2019 when I got this guitar, because I never really desired one of these, but there was so much buzz on YouTube at the time about Fireflies, that it just drove me to want to have one to see for myself. And I thought, well, I don't have one of these things. After a couple of years past, you know, building the tellies, I thought, maybe it's time I could, you know, do something new. And so my exercises in learning how to do things on guitars continued my learning experience on this guitar. And I thought, I've got everything. I don't need anything else again. But as we all know, it didn't work out that way. But this turned out really, really, really good. And I'm really happy with the whole thing. Come here. I'm really happy with the whole thing. Where's that pick? She's in tune, I think. Let me get my Mustang 3 up here. This is without any effects again. Now, even at, you know, an 8.04, 8.04K or an 8K output on these pickups, they sound quite boomy. That's the bridge and the neck. And the middle. And the radius of the neck on this is extremely flat. I don't know what it is. There was never any specs on it, but this is one of those fretboards, and because of where the action is, I'll show you. I don't have a problem with that, you know, little gap in my finger here that I do on some of the other necks, that the high E or the B, whichever one happens to be under there at the time, I can't fret it. Don't have the problem on this fretboard. There's a couple of guitars that I have like that are, you know, really easy to do bars on up here. And even when I was playing some instrumentals, I mean the action is so low. It's going to make plunk. Didn't. The action is so low, not so low, but so low, that you are just above the frets, and that's all. And this hasn't been played in a while, and this neck is absolutely straight where it needs to be. They gave me good bones when they built this anyway. The neck is set exactly right. The truss rod works really good. There's the tiniest bit of relief right here in the center. And that action is super low. I mean, right across the entire fretboard from one end to the other. And that's the way I like to have them. So just it turned out so good overall in the end. I'm going to tag at the very end of the video the recommended video, one of the songs that I thought I played on this. It's really something now, and for back then, you know, there was so much buzz. I decided to get one and show what mine was like. So many people were saying, oh, mine came great and it's perfect and it was beautiful and shiny, and they took it out of the box and it was. But I mean, I got this in a cardboard box in a plastic bag, and it wasn't in such good shape at the time. I also changed these knobs. They came with black knobs alone, so I just got some that had the little red circle inside. I thought they just matched, you know, a little bit nicer. Yeah. So it became the apple of my eye for a while afterwards. So I spent, what was it? It was about $35 for the tuners. It was like $26 for the roller bridge. I don't know, the knobs were like 10 or 12 bucks. I got those sent in from China. $100 for the pickups. But, you know, where could I get a guitar like this? I mean, not even an Epiphone would end up like this without spending money on it. I mean, it just wouldn't. I saw Epiphones. I looked at Epiphones before I bought this one. I looked at the Epiphone 335, and I looked at the 320, what is it, 329, the little smaller version of it. They were horrible. And so I thought, I'm going to go with a Firefly. So I went through all of that, got this, and there isn't an Epiphone that you could buy off the shelf today that would match this guitar, I think. It's just too nice. And so it's part of the collection. And with so many of them around here, it doesn't get a lot of use, like they all don't, because the time sharing on so many of them is a little bit difficult. But I'm very happy to have them all around here, and very happy to have this one in the overall collection. If there's any questions about this, let me know in the comments. I'll answer anything I can. There's a playlist of all of the work I did on this, and some of the songs that I've played with it as well online. So this is not going to be a entertainment video. It's basically just a explanation of how this came to be and why it's in my collection today. And that's the way it ends up. And hope you enjoyed hearing about this. All the other information is in the playlist, and recommend you go back and look at it if you're that interested. But other than that, I appreciate all your support, and catch you all in the next one.